In this lecture, we are going to create a simple greeting application using the same project that we used in the previous lectures. Okay, so let's start. Let's open the Windows Hello project and let's open the main page that's XAML. So there are three tags in this page. The first one is the content tag, which has a start tag and an end tag. Stack layout, we have also two tags here, start tag and end tag. And the last one is the label. So as you can see, the label has no end tag, but there are texts right after the label. So this text is a property which allows us to display text on our mobile phone. Horizontal options allow us to horizontally align our label, and vertical options for vertical alignment of the label. So we can see the effect of this if we are going to preview this. So we can click the double left arrow, the expand pane, and you will notice that it is already rendering, and this is how it looks like in our mobile phone. So welcome to Xamarin Forms. So if you're going to change this, so let's say greeting application, it will also change to whatever text we type on the text property. So the horizontal option center states that horizontally from left to right, the text is displayed at the center. And the vertical options refers to the alignment vertically, which states that from top to bottom, it will be displayed at the center. So let's add another control into our stack layout. This time, let's try to add entry. Entry is a control that will allow us to enter something, to write something into it. And then let's use the placeholder property to give the user a hint of what to do about this entry. So let's say, write your name. So you'll notice that there is already a text at the bottom of our preview. But basically, it should be at the center as well, just like with the greeting application label. So to do this, we have to modify the vertical options. Instead of choosing the center and expand, we'll change this to center. After changing this to center, you will notice that the space at the bottom has been removed and occupied by our entry. And then let's add another control. This time let's adding a button. Then let's give it a text property. So there you have it. We have now a button. Now let's add a margin at the left side and at the right side, as well as the top of our view. We can do that by adding here at the stack layout margin, and then we specify that at the left side, we want to have a margin of 15. At the right side, another 15. At the top, another 15, and at the bottom is 0. So we can preview this using a simulator. So let's go to the toolbar, and then when you have there the little triangle, clicking this one will allow us to open our simulator. Let's wait until the Xamarin completely loaded the project into our simulator. Okay, so there you go. We have now this entry and we have now this button. So let's keep our simulator open and let's go back to our Xamarin. Now what we want to do here is when we click the button, it will display the name together with the greeting using the label that we have at the top. Okay, so let's do this. Let's right here click and then let's click this one, new event handler, And then let's open our SAML.css of the main page. And then you will notice that we have now a method that handles the button clicked. We can write here the things that we want to do, the things that we want to happen if we click that button. Okay, so let's go back to our main page, that's SAML. For us to access the controls such as the label, entry, and button, we have to give it a meaningful name. So we can write here for our entry a name, let's say greeting entry. And for label, we can give it a name. And then once we have this, then let's save the changes and then let's go to our main page, that's saml.cs. And then let's type here greeting entry dot text. Okay, we have now a way of accessing those controls inside of our main page, that's SAML. So maybe you are wondering why we were able to do that. We were able to access the greeting entry right after we define the name of those control. So the explanation is that right after we wrote the name of those control inside of our SAML page, there are some additional codes that were written for us. If I'm going to display all the files under the object folder, under the debug, under the net standard 2.0, you have there what we call the main page.saml.g.cs. So this is where the definition of the names that we wrote a while ago was created. So if you can see here, we have the label with the name greeting label and the entry with the name greeting entry. And these entries here were inherited by our main page. So which allows us to access those controls inside of our SAML main page. Okay, so let's go back to our main page, that's SAML. So we can write here string greeting is equals to greeting entry the text and then another string for greet is equals to, and then we will display this using the greeting label. So let's write here greeting label the text is equals to greet. There you go. And then let's try running this application by hitting this green triangle. Then let's open up our simulator. Okay, so we can write a simple name here. Let's say John Doe and then greet. It says here, hello John Doe. If you rename this to something else, let's say Jane Doe, then clicking the greet will change the name that was greeted before. Hello Jane Doe. So that ends this video. Thank you for listening.